It's Metroid.
It is Metroid. This came out when I was 3 years old.
Oh my god.
And this game is older than Josh.
It's older than me by 4 years.
Yeah, that's astounding, isn't it?
I actually owned this briefly, believe it or not. We went out and bought like an NES from a GameStop and bought a Metroid, and it took so much blowing in the cartridge to get it to run. And we played a little bit of it. We didn't play the whole thing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
The planet Zebeth.
Zebeth? That's not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the past? Why doesn't it respect the naming conventions of the future?
They didn't have the same translators as the future, nor did they think the translation was a particularly important thing, which is actually one of the things that I like about this game. That's the sum total of the storyline you get.
Yeah.
Is just that little bit of text there. And you are just in like Flynn. Here, let's pick this thing up. What the fuck was that?
It doesn't even tell you. What?
Yeah.
You could get that and then, like, not know that you couldn't always be a morph ball.
Zoot. Yep. That's pretty much the extent of it. The cartridge that I had as a kid did tell you what it was.
Oh, really?
I don't know if this is a different version or not, or whether I've just implanted this memory in my head.
The Super Metroid does tell you, right? That could be.
Yeah, Super Metroid says that you just got the morph ball.
Right.
What the version of this cartridge that I had as a kid told you is that you got the Maru Mari.
What? How could you? How is it that you had a magical cartridge with different stuff on it, Isaac? What is the 80s about? Did the game crash?
No, click on the screen. I probably hit.
You hit the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a thing that happens possibly.
Mm-hmm. Whoa! Too many sprites! Too many sprites! There we go. That native slowdown captured at perfect 30 FPS.
Yeah, we're a little mystified by that, but it's probably good. So this is one of your all-time favorites, is it not?
I'm not sure I would say that. I mean, it's like saying the Beatles are your favorite band.
I guess that's true.
It's one of the most potent vibe merchants of its generation, I would say.
That's for sure.
Partially because the music is balls good, but partially because you are just lost as hell.
Yeah,
right from the beginning.
It doesn't even give you the map. I think Super Metroid had like a map.
Oh yeah, Super Metroid has a map.
Okay. This one doesn't.
No map. You don't need a map. If you want a map, you should draw a map, you lazy son of a bitch.
You know, Phil Fish wanted Fez to be that kind of game for a while, but he was persuaded that it was better with a map.
Well, you know, we no longer live in a world where people's are so starved for entertainment that they were willing to draw a map to play a video game.
Yeah.
Perhaps to our detriment. I remember the first-person dungeons in Ultima Ultima 3 for the NES, which were had the distinction of being both you needed to map it and they were terrible. So, you know, no fun was being had, but I did it anyway.
No landmarks whatsoever in those old school first-person dungeon games, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was absolutely awful. But
they made a nostalgia game based on that experience. You ever see that, Legend of Grimrock?
I can't imagine that could have been very fun. But
people liked it.
We've said on multiple occasions that if you think that you're playing video games for fun, then you're missing the point.
Of course. But this seems fun.
No,
now it's yellow. That's fun.
Yeah, right? And it's like, why is it yellow now? We're moving between like different zones in this planet, but you were, when you were a kid, forced to make up reasons for everything that was happening, basically. It's a headcanon generating device, a game like this, because it's like listening to a radio show, you know. If I'm going to be an old man and talk about the good thing about the dead genre of games, which I don't really need to be because there's plenty of people alive today that are still, you know, very much on this particular tip. You know, and we've been talking about this sort of as a general matter, but you wind up telling yourself your own story about what's going on. You can read the manual, but I'd never read manuals when I was a kid.
I bet there wasn't much in there anyway.
I mean, the manuals for NES games were like often surprisingly chunk full of stuff that, frankly, the American localizer had just made up.
Yeah.
So it was not a particularly reliable narrator anyway. You know?
And it's not, at any rate, it's not going to give you a beat for beat. Like,
you know, it's not telling you why
yellow.
this yellow. Yeah, you know, you are forced to. It's like, why did the music change when I went in here? You know, why is this zone suddenly very different from the other zones? And there's no coherent answer to those questions, nor like would there be, right? You are just a guy, or so you think, and that's of course the greatest trick this thing pulls off, is that you're forced to completely recontextualize the story after you beat the game and discover the secret.
Right. Completely recontextualize it.
Yeah. I mean, if you were a small child in the 80s, the gender of the hero is just like
absolutely
a massive deal.
Absolutely.
Of
course,
I made a mistake.
Today, we would look at this weird protagonist and absolutely describe it as gender neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally wearing a suit.
Yeah.
That's just about all that's going on. This is the best piece of video game music ever, possibly.
True. I like it. I have no particular nostalgic attachment to it. Gosh, actually I do. I can't believe I've still not gotten you to play Metroid Prime.
Click on the thing. I made a mistake.
The controller in this context has a massive pitfall in the center of it.
We really do need to do something about that. I'm sure we could.
There's got to be a way to just switch it off. They cost like 5 missiles?
Yeah.
God, dude.
And you get hit while you're in the door. I should point out.
I would have fired 1 missile and been like, I guess that's not right.
I believe I remember doing that. I believe, like at the pit at the back of my brain, I remember being like, "Why do you do?" I mean, first of all, like figuring out how to turn your missiles on, because you don't usually press the select button during gameplay when you're on the NES. So, like, even figuring out how to use the missiles, because once again, never looked at the manual, was the thing. And then, oh, that's how you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I found this music terrifying.
Terrifying.
Well, I was a particularly small child, and it's like there were critters in there that were way more dangerous than any of the critters out here,
so it was like
you were, it was the time for testing,
Yeah.
And the music also just felt incredibly ominous to me, which I think.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mystery is definitely a thing that it holds.
Yeah, I think when I encountered that motif in Metroid Prime, which was my first Metroid game, the feeling was more... Metroid Prime exists in a very computerized world,
Yeah.
You're using your scanner to scan the wildlife and even the flora. And I can't remember what rooms had that music in Metroid
Son
Prime.
of a bitch.
But, like, the feeling I enjoyed about it was that it's the same emotion I get from the sound effects in Deckard's apartment in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Just a familiar sound. Because... osmosis means I had heard that melody before ever playing it, probably through Smash Brothers in large part.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, I was going to ask before we started playing this, like, what in this world where this game, like,
wait a minute, this isn't where I'm going. Oh, yeah.
In this world we live in today, where this game's like innovations have been just so deeply internalized by so many other games and so many other classic games. You couldn't have Dark Souls without Metroid. You couldn't have so many other games.
This is where I'm
Fez
going.
Without
the blue
Metroid.
Bubbly thing.
The blue bubbly thing.
Yeah.
You think of these as bubbles? Aren't they rocks?
There's a lot of bubbles in this game.
Yeah.
There are in fact bubbles that are way more bubbly than this down in Norfair, but. Yeah, I always felt that they were kind of bubbly.
They are kind of bubbly,
even though they are also definitely rocks.
And that's sand.
It's a very convincingly alien environment. That's not sand. That's I never figured out what that was.
Quicksand.
It's water, and my suit isn't waterproof.
No, it's
that's the impression that I got when I was a kid.
Maybe you're right. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's piss.
It's yellow. What? Space piss.
Don't swim in the piss. But yeah, like I was gonna ask, like, in this world where we've kind of derived from this game endlessly into, I think it is sort of fair to say, at least in a certain sense of the word, we've derived from this game into superior games. We've iterated on this shit crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, many of the things about this game which give that beguiling sense of mystery that we were talking about are also just extremely frustrating.
Yeah, but like, I guess the answer is,
even though this game still feels real good to play. I don't.
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks like you got some pretty good systems mastery going on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this since I first played this game literally decades ago.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing it for decades.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems like the answer to my question is there is value inherent in the quote unquote primitive presentation. It activates your imagination in a way games today don't. And it still does. I'm having it happen to me right now. Exactly.
I mean, we were discussing this in our aborted playthrough of Dusker, which we will try to, or playthrough, in our aborted Dusker video, which we will get back to at some point. But like games, there's a thing about storytelling in games, and that is that, and maybe this is just me and life generally, is that I find that I have a better time when I'm allowed to paint the pictures. You know?
Yeah.
And
that's why putting a dialogue in Axiom Verge was such a bad idea.
Exactly. It really dragged the whole thing down, even though it was trying to be a pastiche of some other like NES games, like Vice Project Doom.
That's such a silly thing to do in a Metroid game.
Yeah, you know.
Why would you like imitate one of the classics?
Why
and
imitate
use it
like
as an opportunity?
Why imitate like the Ninja Gaiden cutscenes and you know, making a Metroidvania game they don't work together? It's like, stop getting your peanut butter in my chocolate.
You think you would do that in a game that expresses something about the pleasures of whatever game you just said? Net Miami Vice, the video game.
We're gonna do Vice Project Doom for the next one. You're gonna really enjoy the storytelling in Vice Project Doom.
I probably will. Did we ever upload a fucking Nighthawk? God, I can't remember the names of any of these games. Superhero detective game.
Nightshade.
Did we ever upload that?
I don't think so.
Oh man, leave us a comment if we already did a Nightshade.
It's like way back in. It's the Bombas.
The Chozo statues are cool.
Yeah, no.
Those are the environmental storytelling. An early instance.
And they felt very like, you know, I was being cradled by these critters as I was doing this. I mean, Super Metroid makes that explicit in a way, which is super cool. You know, and it's like, there's nothing. We're definitely not saying that the things that took these sort of feelings and like probably incarnated what you had thought was happening.
Yeah.
You know, what you had most likely thought was happening. That's great. I mean, that's really valuable, and as an experience, it's something to relate to. But I don't know. There's more art to this.
That may be true.
And I think that part of what made me an arty fuck was that I grew up on these like weird abstract.
There's more art to this. Is of course a very ambiguous thing to say.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Sideways. I'm not even touching it. Yeah, I'm a big old smart man. Look at me.
Leave the mouse on the screen. I'm sorry if you can see it. You probably can't.
It's vanished anyway.
Yeah.
Like an old oak table.
Art.
Yep.
I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a more. There's a deeper conversation happen.
There's a deeper conversation happen.
Yes, between you and the game.
Yeah. Because the game isn't simply trying to tell me it's the thing.
A more primal one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and like, it's not like the developers of the game set out to like create a primal conversation between you and the game so much as they were working.
This at the time was
like with incredible skill within an incredibly.
At the time, this would have been called an incredibly realistic environment by the standards.
Exactly. This brilliant people, you know. It's hard to overstate that.
Who worked on this? This is not a Miyamoto game, is it?
I don't believe so. Here, you want to see something stupid?
Yeah. Are you just gonna get yourself stuck down there?
Whoop.
What? Wait. Are you back in a place you've been before? Or is this a new place?
It's a new place.
And the only way you would have been able to really figure that out for sure is by checking out the doors, huh?
Checking out the doors?
I mean, like, that looked identical, practically.
Just bombing the floor pretty much everywhere.
If I had found myself in that place, I would have thought, well, okay, am I back in the yellow hallway from before?
Nah, there's no space warping in this game.
Yeah,
that was a really bad idea. Sorry about that.
We'll just move that over there.
Hey, I got the ice beam like way earlier than you normally do.
Nice. Are you speedrunning right now, Isaac?
No, I'm not. I've never sped run a thing in my fucking life.
Does this game have those weird speedrunning techniques like Super Metroid's crazy wall jumping?
Absolutely, it does.
Oh my. All right, because does this game have the franchise staple where completing the game faster gets you better?
Yeah.
A better ending? Oh man.
And by a better ending, I mean you get to see Samus in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
Not that progressive.
That's something they have kept forever. What's happening right now?
Well, you see,
you have to time it.
Yeah.
I see. Was that the only door down there?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's just its own little business there. The ice beam actually kind of makes the thing is a little bit harder here because you can't just...
You can't just turn off the ice beam?
No, absolutely not. Once you have it, you have it. In fact, part of the late game is that you get the wave beam and then you have to get the ice beam again, which is why there are 2 ice beams.
Oh, wow. So what you just found is potentially the one you would use to replace?
Yeah, the one that I just got is can be used as the second ice beam. And people, of course, have determined long since which is the most efficient one to get first and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But you're generally supposed to get the one that's slightly harder to get than that first, you know?
Uh-huh. But here we're playing how we feel.
Yeah, we're playing.
We're having a conversation with this game.
We are indeed, and I think I'm just gonna go to Norfair.
There's something very valuable. I mean, it's the first thing you would change when you have the technology to, but there's something very valuable at just the stark black background.
Yeah. Once again, very evocative. You really notice the colors changing.
Oh yeah, big time. Mm-hmm. He doesn't freeze. Certain enemies are immune to the ice beam?
No, he does freeze.
Oh, it just takes...
I just hit him twice in quick succession there.
Another funny thing is that I doubt... Well...
Ow.
I guess I might be wrong about this, but...
Ow.
I feel like what the developers were thinking about when they designed this game was not the systems mastery that the combat provokes. Would you say that there's truth in that? Or...
They were not thinking of this, but rather of the exploration, or
yeah.
I mean, clearly the whole you get a better ending if you beat the game really quickly thing is not based on systems mastery. It's based on
the world.
deeply getting to know the world,
right,
and figuring out the most efficient way to get through the world.
Yeah,
which is definitely a distinct pleasure, and kudos to them for deriving that would be the distinct pleasure.
Yeah,
that there are. Even at this point.
But I feel like future iterations on this game put more emphasis on the combat. Super Metroid, even Super Metroid, and certainly when you get to shit like Metroid Fusion, it's very much about stomping through the hallways and aiming diagonally and
this
jumping
environment,
and shooting.
Man.
Yeah, now this is Bubble Zone.
This is definitely Bubble Zone.
And I find that this is a common pattern with game design. Like, Monster Hunter is a game that got its start in the PlayStation 2 generation.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah?
Why did they do this?
You can just get yourself stuck down here.
I mean, not
permanently,
stuck, but yeah, they put some bombable floors in that just don't go anywhere.
It's texture.
Yeah. It's like, why would the only bombable floors be ones that have secrets behind them, huh? Where's that written? Ow.
But yeah, like, Monster Hunter was originally envisioned as a game about... It was almost like a survival game. But now it's all about the pleasure of being really, really good at fighting the monsters. And, to their credit, they didn't make it any easier to fight the monsters, but they de-emphasized the survival elements. And I find that this is just... The observation I'm making here is that this is a common arc with game designs, is that you begin focusing on the less tangible elements, and as the game gets older, this is trouble. As the game gets older and as you keep making them, you focus more on the tastes of the experts, I suppose.
There is that. I mean, there's also just the fact that, I can't even shoot diagonally.
Yeah.
I can't switch weapons. I have only 2, major weapons to choose from. It's not... there's a limit to how nuanced the combat can get here,
Yeah.
It's like enemies move in increasingly wacky patterns and take more damage,
But it does look like there's some pleasure to be derived. I was quite impressed in just the first couple of rooms about how you were dancing through the hordes of enemies without getting hit. There's got to be something that feels good about that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's true. But that's video games, right? That's why we play video games, if we're going to be...
Of course. I'm just remarking on how...
I don't remember where I'm going, incidentally.
Okay, you're just exploring.
Yeah.
I'm just remarking on how that is feels particularly present now, the distinction between those two modes of engagement. And you don't get games that are about exploration as often as you did.
As you dude?
As you did. As you dude back in the dude. Another missile door. Those are so expensive to open. It breaks my heart a little bit every time you find one. But then again, they always seem to have really nice things behind them.
It's the other ice beam.
Oh no!
I really shouldn't have done that.
Are we fucked now? Does that scrub your playthrough in some way?
I think it does, actually. I think the other one might respawn.
Oh really?
If I recall correctly. Yeah, but and by the way, that kind of definitively answers my question about which one you're supposed to get first, because I'm pretty sure that I needed the ice beam to get that.
Huh. What if you just not picked it up? Would it still be there waiting for you?
I assume so.
Maybe you should have done that.
Fascinating. Maybe you have to get in via this back way otherwise. I wonder if this leads anywhere. I don't remember.
We're refreshing Isaac's mental map of the Metroid world.
Is this the real one?
Zebeth.
Nope, it's not.
There's fake lava? You gotta be kidding me. Who put fake lava here?
I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't lead anywhere.
Oh my god.
I felt real good about discovering that at one point.
Wow.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough.
I mean, we like it nowadays when people put a secret area in your game that has no particular mechanical reward.
Ah, son of a bitch. We're gonna do this the cheesy way.
This is the cheesy way. Oh, you're not jumping
no.
on the quarters, you're jumping on
I
this
made a
side.
mistake. Yep, come on.
Orbs. There's
Come
just
on.
some orbs floating there.
Yep.
What did you tell yourself those were as a kid?
You know, they're orbs. Orbs are just a thing that happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, unfreeze please. I need to move.
As we've established on Trucks, Isaac has a preoccupation with orbs.
Yeah, I mean,
Perhaps this is
orbs
why.
are super important.
We all live on an orb, after all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's nowhere
I
to go
like this
here.
game, and I don't think I could ever get myself all the way through it.
What happens over here?
You shoot some orbs, and
Yeah.
you get. Is there like a lava suit? Because it looks like you might need one here.
No, I'm just gonna bomb my way through this wall and into wherever it is that I'm going. But you know,
What an adventure.
You see this, right? It's just
Yeah.
like God knows where I'm going or why, or hey, some missiles.
Okay, that's good.
I needed more of those. Yeah, so we could go until I die, which shouldn't be that long. You know,
Is there a boss on the docket?
I'm not
fight Kraid.
Kraid is in here somewhere,
Mm.
but it'll take me a while to figure out where he is.
When was the last time you played this?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Long time
Oh,
ago.
you got him.
Yeah.
Wasted like 2 missiles. Disappointing, Isaac.
Shut your face. That guy moves in a particularly irritating fashion.
Oh, the R&B is on. Alien music.
Mysterious sounds. Hey, look, it's a dead end. Or is it?
I guess the thing I really want to just remark upon about this game is that it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, games have been trying to move away from this aesthetic for so long to their detriment.
That's a glitch.
What is?
That those are red?
Oh, is it?
It's a palette swap glitch, yeah.
Huh. I mean, it looks nice.
It does.
How do you know it's a glitch?
Because they weren't that red before.
Ah.
I think what I actually want to do to find the item that I'm trying to get, which is the high jump boots, is to keep going further down.
You could take just about any frame from this game and frame it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something about the starkness and the high contrast in the colors and all of that. I like the idea of filling a gallery with Metroid screenshots. This looks promising.
There's a dragon down there.
Yeah. Good thing I have 6 missiles.
Is that the same dragon or a different dragon? It's a different dragon.
Give me them boots!
Ice beam number 3.
Give me them jumpy boots!
Jumpy boots. Is that a double jump?
No, that's just a higher jump.
Ah. Higher jump.
So at this point I could go back and find me a crate to fight, but I think that instead I'll just move merrily on my way.
The arrangement of this world is really something. It seems like you could access just about anywhere from the beginning if you know what specific combination of upgrades you need to get there.
Correcto. I mean, it is a truly open world, you know?
Right.
In a way which is... Which is... oh, don't, thank you. That could, if he had been shooting another angle, that could have hit me while I was in the door.
If you were going through that room from the other side, you'd be about to fight a Mega Man boss.
That's true.
But I guess the game doesn't give you much reason to come up with creative itineraries. There really just is kind of one route which makes sense. And the different routes you take will be iterations in the road to finding that route. Am I?
Yeah, but it's like the world is so massive.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's so little indication of what's the right way to go.
Yeah.
That you could be a long time on that route. You know?
True.
You could be a long time on that route.
Oh, yeah. This is to say, I suppose, that one of the iterations on this formula that I am especially fond of is something that you find in Dark Souls, which is that not only is much of the world available to you from the opening, if you know where to go and what to do, but that it's also an RPG, and that most weapons are found uniquely in the world, as well as spells. So you really are just gonna, every time you start a game, you're gonna think, what's the route that makes sense for this character? Which is a great thing.
That makes sense. They do clone some rooms, you will probably noting. For example, we've been here before.
I guess.
From the other side, and this is the one with the fake lava.
Yes.
But in this one, I can bomb through the floor.
Oh, that is harsh. That's real harsh. I wonder if it's just that they cloned the room and didn't intentionally put in the fake floor. It's just that it came over when they cloned it, but the way out.
There's orbs within orbs within orbs in this room.
Oh man, they're like eyes, dude. Surely you must have thought that they were like eyes.
Yes, I absolutely did. It's awfully biological and unpleasant in here.
Do you know where Kraid is yet? Have you?
Kraid is in Brinstar, you fool, of course.
Oh fuck! There's a whole other planet in this game.
No.
Oh, Brinstar's not.
Brinstar's the area that I started in. In this game, usually you beat Ridley before you beat Kraid.
Okay. Are we near Ridley?
I don't
Ridley
fucking
Scott?
remember.
He must be named after Ridley Scott, right?
Yes, he is absolutely named after Ridley Scott. I don't remember if this particular room is ever accessible by that. But, like, I, of course, was always too lazy, or, lazy is a pretty good word, to make maps when I was a kid. So I spent most of my time just wandering around until I found stuff.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I don't actually know where I'm going, because I never systematized it in my brain. And I would just, like, play for hours and hours until I stumbled across something that might be interesting or important.
I mean, this has been good. I mean, we've accomplished basically nothing.
I got an ice beam. I got
some bits.
I got high jump boots.
Yeah, but we've basically been going on a little safari here.
Yeah.
It's been an aimless little tour
And
of Planet Zebeth.
And as you say, a very pretty one.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm actually gaining health back at this point. This is not how things used to go for me as a general matter.
Those dragons don't seem particularly dangerous.
They hurt a lot if they get you.
Attacks on alert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that you're knowingly maneuvering yourself towards rooms with exits. It's just that almost every room has some kind of way out that you can access with the morph ball and the bombs.
Pretty much. There are dead ends, but they're not the norm. Things are connected in weird ways.
Yeah.
No, this isn't good. There we go. Oh boy, though.
Will Isaac survive the episode?
No!
Oh no,
I won't.
He won't.
I won't. This is the worst thing about this game. This specific thing.
And if you wanted to reload your progress, is there like a password?
Yeah, it's a password system.
And you never wrote those down, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh man.
And regardless, yeah. So basically, what I have to do at this point, and this is a fine place to end this episode, is to think about this particular fucking design decision right here.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
can you like use a succession of morph ball bombs to climb with great skill?
Not when you don't have a floor.
I see.
But
Gooper. Well, I mean that's an easy password at the very least. Oh wait, no, that entire thing is the password.
Yes.
Okay.
Ozu 230.
Yasuhiro Ozu. Room 230. Goo. You would write it down.
Yes.
You would take a picture with your smartphone.
Habarmakuho. Gooper.
Well, Metroid. It's an entire little wilderness.
Isn't that fun?
That's probably fits within like a megabyte, much less than a megabyte, right?
We can take a look.
Yeah,
I think
we can.
Yeah,
but
it would be less than a megabyte. Yeah.
Gosh. Top notch.
Seriously.
Goodbye.
Bye.